There are blue skies on the horizon, but a thunderstorm has absolutely soaked the Supersports grid. They've had 5 minutes of wet practice prior to their warm-up lap. I use the warm-up lap term advisedly, as everybody now with full wet tyres on the Supersports come under starters orders. This is going to be a very tricky race indeed. They qualified in the dry. This is absolutely soaking wet. It's still falling. A couple of false starts down to the back end of the grid, but Whitby gets across the nose of Moody, and so does Kurt McCarthy. McCarthy leads up towards Coppins for the first time. 16, Kurt McCarthy goes into the lead. So McCarthy, the fastest man in qualifying when it was dry, and through has come number 36. That is superb. Gary Mason. Well, Gary Mason has been riding good all weekend, and he's through into second place. Jim Moody's there in third place. Dean Thomas in fourth place, and it looks like in fifth place is number 34, Howard Whitby. But Kurt McCarthy on bike 16, the Castrol Honda, couldn't have wished for a better start than that. As soon as they turned green, he was through. Here comes Moody up the inside of Mason. Jim Moody, well, if anybody can in these conditions, if anybody has the experience in these conditions, it is the Glaswegian Jim Moody, the series leader, in second place now on the V&M Yamaha. Bike 21 chases his former teammate Kurt McCarthy. This is the hairpin. Whitby looking up the inside. I remember Howard Whitby from Brands Hatch, the opening round. He was superb. All Kurt McCarthy right out on the white line there. And through has gone Mason. Mason has made a move, I'm sure, on Moody. Did he do it? Yes, he did. Gary Mason has stuffed Jim Moody. Well, not many people do that to Jim. That should get his adrenaline flowing, and I think it's going to be Whitby up the inside now on Moody. Moody goes back to fourth place. So the series leader goes back to fourth. This is good for Kurt McCarthy. 34, Whitby goes third. 21, Moody, series leader, goes back to fourth. And getting away is 16, the Castrol Honda of Kurt McCarthy, the pole sitter, being chased by 36, Gary Mason. Gary Mason, well, he's a good guy, Gary. Oh, that's Glenn Richards. Glenn Richards. Well, the man we really fancied for this, the winner of the Superstocks race, Glenn Richards goes out. Wow, he will be unhappy about that. So Glennie Richards then, who qualified in 7th place, he's 4th in the championship at the moment, and he will be a bitterly disappointed man. Kurt McCarthy then, compatriot to Richards, out in front. The Australian, he's a hard man, but he's got Gary Mason right there with him. Mason on a mission, Moody always on a mission. Still in 4th place, Howard Whitby, ready to pick up the... Oh, the marshals are even finding it slippery, so the marshals slipping over as well there. 25 in all sorts of trouble. That's Dennis Hobbs, the team SMR Honda. Norwest Holst Honda is out, but back at the front. Oh, look at Moody. Moody surely not there. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Take that, Jim. Oh, Jim Moody slides through under Gary Mason at the hairpin. Believe me, it looks as if there's a bit of room there, but there isn't. Kurt McCarthy down into Mansfield Corner. Back to something like second gear, I think, on the Supersports bike. Onto the little short right kink, then left kink, then a little straight to the bottom of the mountain. Then it gets very technical indeed. Left-hander flopping right in second gear, up and over the hill, looking for grip at this point as they dig into the tip. Wheel spin, wheeling, everything you like, as Kurt McCarthy gets it over the mountain, into Hall Bends now. Through the right kink, then it's left, then it's right again. Bit of a squirt, down towards the hairpin, on the braking. Kurt McCarthy leads 21, Jim Moody. Look at the face on Moody. Would you like that right in your mush? I doubt it. So Moody in second place, looking as determined as ever he does. He is after Kurt McCarthy with a vengeance now, dropping Gary Mason back in third place. The fight is on lap 10. Moody, well, he had the fastest lap back on lap 11. But I have to say that at the end of this lap, oh no, there's not going to be a fastest lap from McCarthy. McCarthy shakes his head there. Well, McCarthy has caught a back marker, and all the good work that he managed to do by getting past the back marker earlier. It's no good looking round now because you've already lost it. Mark Laws, that was, looked over his shoulder too late because he's held Kurt McCarthy up and given Jim Moody back the advantage that Kurt McCarthy had. Oh, look at Moody's eyes. I have to say, they tell you something about the mentality of that man. I'll leave you to guess what. Look at the back end of that bike squirming as he asks for the power through that wet tyre on the dry surface of Charlie's Corner. The sun is coming out up that part of the track as well. That's going to really make life difficult for these two. In fact, it'll make life difficult for all the men out on the track because they all went out on wet tyres. Whitby is third, but 17 seconds back on the leader. 18 seconds behind the leader is Gary Mason. Brogan is still 5th, Vermeulen is 6th, Thomas 7th, and Heckles in 8th place. Well, you've got to hand it to Kurt McCarthy. That's a hell of a couple of laps. He's broken the back of Jim Moody. Jim Moody is not an easy man to beat. He's certainly not an easy man to psych out, whatever the conditions, whatever the track. And Kurt McCarthy, well, you've got to say, that performance over the last lap and a half was absolutely awesome. For the last time then, at the hairpin, Kurt McCarthy, he should be absolutely unhurried. Barn corner, this is the last corner on the track of Cadwell Park. Superb, comes to the line. That is a very, very classy win from Kurt McCarthy. He set off like a bullet from a gun from the green light. He has led right from the green light. He was under the severest of pressure from Jim Moody for just about 9/10 of the race. But in the end, 17 laps at 79.28 miles an hour in drying conditions after a thunderstorm just before the start. Kurt McCarthy wasn't psyched out by the weather or by the Scotsman. Kurt McCarthy then, an 8.7 second win from Jim Moody. Who would have counted that at the beginning of the series? Howard Whitby in 3rd, that's a fine ride from him, coming in front of Gary Mason. Steve Brogan hung on to 5th throughout from Dean Thomas, no doubt disappointed with 6th place. Mark Heckles, there's a scout for Mark Heckles there, 7th place for him in front of Chris Vermeulen.
I enjoyed it. I made a couple of little mistakes, but I was just worried who was behind me, and I saw Jim there and I just thought, oh no, and I thought I just got to keep my head down, and luckily we finished the flag first, so it was good.
I tell you what, I wouldn't want this man behind me on a bike either. It's pretty worrying, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. No, I wanted to get some points back because I lost too many at Knock Hill the other week and I needed to get some back, but we'll keep our head down and see what we can do and see what happens later in the year.
Okay, well, we did have some fairly difficult conditions out there, to say the least. You guys did an absolutely sterling job to cope with them out there. It was drying out pretty fast as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty good for a while. I was seeing my board and I was getting plus from the person behind me, so I was just quite happy to let Kurt do all the hard work. And then as I started to get a dry line, I was trying to keep on the wet to keep my tyre good, and the tyre just started tearing pretty bad and I was getting a lot of slides, and this one's for Kurt.
Well, they are good friends, so I suppose he can be generous. 23 points still the gap between Moody and McCarthy. Thomas is a further 41 back. Richards, Whitby, Vermeulen, Brogan and Mason round out the top 8 in the series after 9 rounds. Celebration time. Moody once again gets pole position for squirting Kirk in the ear with champagne. Clouds have moved away, but the track is treacherous. Just right then to add more drama to the Superbikes. The boys are on the grid, and so's Claire with a creepy bear in his dreams. This is how they line up. Hodgson then on pole with Walker, Hayden and Reynolds completing the front row. Plater, Crawford, McKenzie and Emmett are on row 2, ready to do battle in race 2. Row 3 is David Jeffries, Michael Rudder, Shaky Byrne, Paul Young. Tom Kippy's there in front of John Crockford, the top privateer. And just to add a bit of interest to things, Neil McKenzie on the warm-up lap proves just how difficult it is through Hall Bends, just touching a white line and slipping off. How embarrassing. There was worse to come for him though. This track could not be more difficult at the moment. Some of it is absolutely dry and there's only a dry line round other parts of it. If they get off the line, there's big trouble all round. Here we go then. Off the line, and there's McKenzie going in pit lane at the end after that fall on the warm-up lap. Will he change bikes and go back out? Just look how difficult these conditions are, Scott. Even up in the coppice where it's relatively dry. This is a dry race. They started it under dry race rules, so if we have any more rain, they will have to stop for wet tyres.
Yeah, that was absolutely the right decision by the organisers. Can't believe it. For Neil. Just when everything's going right, it goes so horribly wrong again.
Indeed, so he goes out on brand spanking new shiny tyres as well. Don't even have a warm-up lap to scrub the edges off them, but the mechanics, of course, always keep a bike warmed up in pit lane, just in case there's a problem. Ooh, I'll tell you what, Plater was right out on the white line there on the green Kawasaki. Plater in 4th place at the moment on 22. So local man, bad luck in race 1, has got a real flyer here from row 2 in race 2. There he is.